I was calling in regards to the end times. I know the United States is not in Revelation, but it just talks about not being able to buy or sell at the end times. And I have just heard about the WHO maybe having control of our society, and I didn't know if that could be part of that prophecy to not be able to.
Well, Gloria, there's no doubt we're being sold down the river. Any group of people that let your border get ridden with millions and millions of illegals, putting a strain on already a very strained society. Our infrastructure can't handle it. It's all deliberate. The American news media shamefully will not tell people the truth. They're liars. And what this is really doing to communities all over America, it's so bad in Texas that Governor Abbott has closed the border down. Biden says open it back up. And so there's a standoff. And, you know, Jeff, you're in Texas. All I can say is, Governor, please stand strong against the tyranny of really America being overthrown. Your thoughts?
Well, yeah, Governor Abbott has taken a stand. They passed a law. My understanding is they passed a law that gave the police the right to deport, the power to deport. And so they've taken a stand to stop this just totally porous open border. And
insanity.
Washington, Biden administration has resisted it, has told Abbott to stop it. And so you have to wonder, why in the world, because didn't President Biden put his hand on a Bible and swear to uphold the laws of the land? Well, one of the laws of the land is you can certainly become, you can migrate here, but you've got to do it legally. And for anybody coming across the border illegally, they should be treated as a criminal and deported back. Yeah, lawbreakers. I mean, you're breaking a law. But instead, the Biden administration seems totally intent, even in light of the fact and in spite of the fact that many mayors of blue states and blue cities, you know, think of Chicago, think of, other, Colorado and other places where, and in California, where illegals are flooding in, and the mayors and the governors are pitching a fit, and they're all upset that people like Abbott are sending busloads of these illegal immigrants to them. And they're saying we can't take it. It's straining our economy and we have nowhere to put them. But they're only getting a tiny fraction of a taste of what we're experiencing in border states like Texas. And yet they're whining and moaning about it. But what I don't understand is, why aren't they going straight to Washington and facing the one man responsible for this, who is President Biden? Because he could give the word today, and Mayorkas and these people who have done his bidding and letting the border go by the wayside, and really our sovereignty being ruined, he could give the word and it would be stopped. He could call out the National Guard. He could do anything and it would be stopped. But he doesn't. Even with his own Democrat leaders throughout the country complaining and screaming bloody murder about what all these migrants being bused to them is doing to their cities. Even that is not stopping him. So you have to sit back and wonder, what in the world is going on here? What is he up to? Apparently, for whatever reason, there's only one conclusion. He wants America overrun. He wants American sovereignty destroyed.
Completely. Yeah, when you stop to think that the Roman Empire was never conquered, its borders were overran. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
And so what's his trick? Yeah. What's he going to do in July or August? Say, oh, all people that broke in our country who are illegal now can vote. Well,
Yeah.
that vote for
Yeah.
me, everything is free. This is how
Sure.
the communists through history
Mhm.
have taken over. Promise the world, deliver nothing. Once they get in power, they're tyrants. Now, one of the things they want an unarmed America. So this is going to be the next big move of the communist Biden administration. I'll call it for what it is, because that is what it is. No really person in their right mind would let your borders be overrun by tens of millions of people, all living off of your Social Security checks,
Mhm.
your tax dollars, everybody. That's what it's about.
Your medical dollars.
Yeah, they're not coming from
Hospitals.
Mexico. They're coming
Yeah.
from all over the world. And many of
Yeah.
them are terrorists. So it's on purpose. Now, to answer your question, why isn't America in biblical prophecy? Friends, I don't know. I believe there's several things. And America being really the world, you might say world power right now, or at least one or two of several, it is not even found in anything in the end time. So America, evidently, something happens to it. Now, I'll give you several scenarios. Number one, it could be taken out by a series of natural events, like a 15.0 earthquake, not just a San Andreas earthquake, but where the tectonic plates push down and the San Joaquin Valley actually becomes an inland ocean. Now, this is real. This is what they're saying can happen. We have the Cascadia Fault off the coast of Oregon and Washington, way, way overdue for a major correction, as well as San Andreas. That's actually 80 plus years overdue for a major correction. So they're not expecting a 7.0. They're thinking it's going to go off the scale, actually. Well, the devastation, enter San Francisco, 1906, something along that magnitude all over California. Now, when you stop to think that they've been building California for over 150 years, there's not enough 2x4s, plaster, and sheetrock to rebuild the place. The economic disaster that would cause globally as well to the United States, that would be something. And then if this earthquake, Cascadia, San Andreas, and some of these lesser faults go off as well as Yellowstone, this giant super volcano that would put heavy ash out as far as Tennessee as it did the last time it erupted, and the lighter ash going as far as New York. What that would do to all of our infrastructure, all of our farming, all of our economy would be pretty much decimated. Number two, we could get a surprise attack from China, Russia. We don't know. Because here again, you hear Putin saber-rattling his anger towards the West, predominantly the United States, for supplying the Ukraine with weapons. He didn't like that. And so he has vowed retaliation. And this hardly a week goes by that he doesn't threaten in some way, some type of a nuclear war against the United States. Now, China, on the other hand, wants to take Taiwan. What is keeping Taiwan from being taken right now is the United States presence. But if it's reduced to nothing, such as a war or maybe an Axis power of China and Russia together, North Korea is not really an issue, but certainly they would join in. We have this scenario where America may be simply just not an issue anymore. Number three, America could just degenerate into a civil war where everybody is so busy fighting each other, we haven't got time to be a world leader. And it seems like what may be going on in Texas right now between Governor Abbott and the current Gestapo in the White House may very well turn into that. Because I believe that Abbott will enforce Texas's borders. And if that is tampered with, Jeff, I don't know how that might shake out. The third thing is America could experience a giant revival. The rapture comes and we're all not here. I wouldn't put my heart too heavy in that, though it's something I do pray for. And one of the other things that we have to look at as well, as the United States just simply becomes so weakened. And that's what I believe right now. Again, I don't believe, and I know this is going to sound ridiculous, I don't believe Joe Biden's the president. Joe Biden doesn't even know how to walk off a stage. There's not a single speech that he makes that he doesn't in some way lie in it. And they have literally dozens and dozens, scores of lies in almost every speech that he makes. Who controls the teleprompter when he starts wandering in the middle of his speeches? That's who your president is. Whoever's turning off the cameras when he's not in control anymore, there's your president. So really, we don't know who the president is. It's some dark force that's out to destroy America. And I believe they're working completely overtime. And personally, I wish the United States military would go in and seize them all for treason, allowing our borders to be overran. Isn't it weird that we go clear to the Ukraine to stop people from invading their borders like Russia, but in America, we don't do a thing? Isn't it funny? We'll spend billions of dollars to stop Russian communism, and yet we put communists in our own Senate, like an avowed socialist communist, Bernie Sanders, and the others that are there. We don't do anything about that. So, friends, really, we may just degenerate into what we're headed for right now. We may find that judgment of God, possibly through these different global catastrophes that may come upon us. I don't know, but I know this. Jesus said, when you begin to see these things, Matthew chapter 4:24, look up, your redemption draws nigh. When you begin to see them, I see a global economic world collapse very soon. We have a debt right now, and because of the current president, we have went trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars more in debt. People are going, oh, look at the economy. The economy is terrible. If you think a good economy is by subsidizing with trillions of borrowed money, you don't know anything about economics. Well, we're going to spend our way out of debt. Tell me, do you know anybody that's ever worked for? So we are in some real trouble. Work, Jesus said, for the night is coming when no one can work. So what happens to the United States? I really don't know. But it doesn't seem that we are in any shape to be any kind of a world leader during that time. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, Gloria, to your question, some people believe Babylon is America, the Babylon of Revelation 17, 18, 17, chapter 17 and 18. It's not, America is not the Babylon of Revelation. My guess would be, because we're certainly in a collapsing culture. I'm not a downer. I have faith in God. I believe in God's sovereignty. I don't walk around depressed all the time over what's happening. I do walk around burdened a lot about what's happening, but I have a very solid faith in God's sovereignty. Now, that said, I do believe we're in a collapsing culture. And without a direct intervention of God in the form of a massive revival or a genuine awakening or reformation, I think America it's just a matter of time. It seems to me it's going the way of Rome, which just rotted from the inside. It rotted morally, it rotted militarily, it rotted politically. And over a long period of time, incrementally, it just became weaker and weaker and weaker until the day arrived when the Roman military had not the strength nor the willpower to resist the barbarian hordes that were coming across its border. I mean, it's like the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. We had the Goths, the Visigoths, the Ostrogoths, the Huns, all of these just barbarian people, far below Rome educationally and whatnot, but they were just savages. And they came across the border, and when Rome was too weak to any longer resist it, and Rome bit the dust. It seems to me, without a move of God, we are looking at almost just an eerie repeat of Rome. That said, I pray for America. I do believe that the gospel being preached to America could bring a change, or at least could slow down what's happening. But it seems to me, barring a move of God, it's collapsing all around us, militarily, morally, politically, the same way that Rome did. Mike?
Amen. So I hope that helps